So good morning. I don't know what's the time now. So first of all, I got the unfair advantage of having multiple introduction. So many lines from Amit and then from her. And but my job is now easier because in first half of the morning, we heard about operation excellence and the essential and the most fundamental theory of operation excellence, from no one else but the guru, Masaki himself. So we are privileged to hear that. Post which we had session from Mr. Grover, then Amit. So my life is now easier. So what I'm going to actually do is, I'm actually going to show the concept that how operation excellence and the technology and the IOE, which Amit just spoke about, how all of them are culminating into one common platform in form of a tool which you can keep in the pocket, and any manufacturing stakeholder, right from the operator to CEO and chairman of the company, can keep it in their pocket to know exactly what is happening across any locations of the plant. They can know what are the business KPIs and why are they the way they are. Where are the inefficiencies, correct? Where am I losing what? So this is what is the actually working model which exists, and not only exists, there are more than 20 implementation already in India, in our geography. So that's the what Covacsis has done. So let me start with that, incidentally, it's falling in since aligned with the topic since morning we are talking about. So I do believe that excellence is lived. Most of us perceive excellence, correct? There is a big gap between perceiving excellence and living excellence. That gap could be due to various challenges, operational challenges, financial challenges, aspirational challenges, knowledge challenges. It could be anything, but that's the somewhere we'll have to start living. And how that gap, you would see by end of the presentation in next 10 minutes, can be actually eliminated by using adoption of the technology and the IOE and the IoT and the concept of, an adoption of technology and fusing Kaizen and the best practices and the best method, fuse it with the technology and you put it in your pocket, and how everything it changes. Let me ask, because most of us are from manufacturing here, correct? In any manufacturing organization, biggest investment is in the plant and machineries, right? The top management who are sitting anywhere, around 500,000 kilometers away from their plants. Few questions are that, do we know as a management or as a manufacturing stakeholder, do we have idea if I ask a question that, can you tell me that how much value we have lost in last half an hour in one of your location or across all locations put together, correct? There is no answer as of today. That's the irony which exists, that if we talk about operation excellence, right, any excellence is a pursuit of the excellent financial engine in the place. Why we want to excel operationally, why we want to satisfy customer, it got to be resulting into a value, correct? Otherwise, just because excelling, just the pursuit of excellence not resulting into a good value for the company is useless for the business purpose, right? So the whole point is that if I have invested hugely in my plants and machineries, then how come as one of the stakeholder do not know how much value I am losing or how much value I am generating out of it at any given moment? I don't want to know after 3 months. I don't want to know after 1 day. I don't want to know after 24 hours. I want to know now. It's all about now. If I know where my wife is right now, most of us, if I ask you that, tell me in last 30 minutes, and last 1 hour you are sitting here, can you tell me that what exactly happened in your plant or in a certain section? You have no answer. But if we tell, can you tell me where exactly is your kid right now and your wife right now? You will have, maybe because you are sitting, chatting, you are already on WhatsApp, Facebook. So that's all about knowing it now. So that's where manufacturing has really lost in terms of how can we get technology inside and have a quick, rapid decision-making platform. So one shift will happen and is going to happen is, of course, operation excellence and the floor operation is very important thing. But floor operation without understanding of floor economics is disaster. And that is where manufacturing will have to learn now. That how our manufacturing floor and everyone standing on the floor have a good understanding about the floor economics. And that's why, very vaguely and casually I say that people says, what do you sell and what do you kind of help? How do you help company others? We say we sell big 4 consulting company in a very small box. Correct? That's the power of Covacsis. That's the power of technologies. And by using that, my operator on the floor will talk a language such as, sir, if we do not do this now, in next half an hour we are going to lose 50,000 of rupee. That's the language our operators talk by using such kind of system. So an excellent floor is, so where is the gap? So gap is that, excellent floor is all about knowing what I got to be measuring, how I have to measure, and when do I have to measure. If the dynamics fail, that's where inefficiency creeps in, that's where financial loss and cost comes in the picture. See, if I know what I have to measure, but I am not doing it at the right time, there is a cost to it. If I know what I have to measure, and I'm doing it at the right time, but I'm applying a wrong method, there is a cost attached to it. So all three has to click at the same time. Hence it's inevitable for us to know right business, right question, right KPI, using a most accurate method, which is a foolproof and complete, and in real time basis. Now, when all three things happen, that's what gives you a perfect decision-making platform. And that is why, the floor, as an example I just shared, that what does it take an operator to talk a language of CEO, not the degree of Harvard and IIT and IIMs. It's all about knowing and understanding what is happening around me in a very, very complete and comprehensive manner. So if it is converted into a tool and operator sees it that, okay, in last 30 minutes, because of A, B, C reasons, this is what I'm losing, job is done, right? Sitting here, I can tell you in the demo, our application is running, so after in the break, maybe you get opportunity to look at it. Sitting here, I can say that one of the plant which is live here since morning, how much money they have lost and what are the top 3 reasons. And this is actual live real-time example which is being played there in the demo booth. Right. So how does it work quickly is, Amit already talked about it. So our system actually can collect data from anything and everything on the floor. Any machines, any drives, any VFDs, any devices, also from the human, also from the videos. We are integrating that every inch of your plant actually is in the vigilance. Actually is mother of data for us. We capture data out of it. All data then accumulated at one place, and that's where all KPIs are generated in real-time basis, not at the end of the shift, not next day, not next. So in real time, I know that my so-and-so plant is running at this efficiency, my asset utilization is this, I'm losing this much of money, my energy consumption has gone 5% above my benchmark level. So every department of the company is knowing the relevant KPIs on the fly. They don't have to wait at the end of the quarter to tell costing team that, this quarter your consumption and your inventory cost was higher. Why cannot I know now? And then, of course, the third important part is sharing. So you collect data, you do real-time analytics in the network in a very distributed way. So we are, for example, with Cisco's networks, we are, our system is fused with the Cisco's backbone, and it's going to create analytics on the fly. And then sharing is very important. So rather than you seeking information, information comes to you. So sitting here, in this room, your tab, your mobile says that, okay, exception. In last half an hour, my asset utilization is dropped by 5%, and the reason is A, B, and C, correct? So the idea is that knowledge has to be commoditized. We are saying that knowledge is not something which only intellectuals and well-educated are. So the knowledge, if does not result into action and converted into commodity, that even an operator looks at it who is not so literate and say, okay, I'm losing this much, I got to do. Because it's the impact which results into action, it's not the knowledge. So what we have done is that how can we capture the data, convert it into KPIs, convert it into business impacts, share it with everyone right from the bottom to the top. And this is what is happening. So you have a mobile tab, desktop, on the fly, you will keep getting. Okay, so I will skip this slide. So what is happening that if you have at the enterprise level, multi-sites, multi-locations, I can have a multi-site analysis happening at the same time, that what is the cumulative loss that's happening. So at the head office, I know that across various sites, how the various relative comparison in various business KPIs are happening, how my factory A is against factory B, how the product A, which is running at 2 locations, are performing, what are various other matrices, financially most inefficient. Today, if as a plant head or as a vice president manufacturing or president manufacturing, someone asked me that out of 10 locations, can you tell me that right now in half an hour, last 30 minutes, which location or which section of the location is most inefficient in terms of financial measure, correct? Today, I may not have information. Our system gives you that. So this kind of matrices and KPIs are something which is very, very important going forward, where most of, as in the morning, Guru spoke himself, that it's all about knowing simple things in the most righteous manner so that I can act upon it. Technology and RPS is just becoming enabler. The gap which I spoke about, that what is the gap between perceiving excellence and living excellence is this. And we are trying to solve it by use of making it a tool which is nothing but a technology. It does not require any capital investment. It does not require any degree to understand. Keep that tool like thermometer in your pocket. You know exactly what is happening everywhere, right? The impact, let me share the impact of it. We have seen a plant which was claiming that their asset utilization is almost 90 to 93%, and which have already surpassed the so-called rated capacity, and we can have a separate session on the myth of rated capacity in the manufacturing world. So the plants who are claiming that their rated capacity we have already exceeded, and now we are around 93, 94%. In such environment, there was an improvement of in the order of 20 to 25%. I'm not talking about 0.5% or 1%. So you can imagine it's a mix of how the current measurement techniques and plus the scope. One of the examples when you were saying that the best time to do your OEE is when you are expanding. Exactly, and our experience has been bang on, correct? People say, my plant is overloaded, we need to create capacity, there is a huge order. You put this system in less than a month time, it tells you how much hidden capacity is in your plant. Less than a month, and your people, the operator would know, forget the CEO, right? And where exactly is the hidden capacity, and how I can improve upon it. So that's kind of impact it creates. So these are the three, there are many, but the cumulative, if I see that we are doing analysis, so what does it mean to the India manufacturing story? I'm saying, and our research suggests, that today, Amit was also have corroborated that by 2025, the research report says that Indian manufacturing GDP contribution will be around 25%. from today's of 17 or 18%. So we are seeing a 7-8% gap. Out of that 7 and 8%, 1 to 2%, 1.5 to 2% gap can be filled in next 15 to 18 months if such kind of technology is adopted by all manufacturing companies. Without doing anything, it will create the value which is directly adding to GDP by 1.5 to 2%. That's phenomenal, correct? That is something which is mind-blowing, and it has happened. All those companies which have implemented our system, they have seen how it affects them financially, So is this something which is just an improvement tool which will take me to a step further? No. We are saying that is going to become a very, very strategic intervention for Indian manufacturing environment, because it's building, every year we set a goal for ourselves. I'm calling it a static goal. Every year the goal gets revised. So how year on year I improve upon it? How do I have a process adherence which guarantees my quality and the variability is reduced to 0 or negligible? Compliances side, we have been in news for good and bad reasons, especially pharma. And the economics and the floor economics, nevertheless, the very important dimensions. Now, unless we have all these four dimensions in a single dynamics and collaborating with each other, we cannot think of a sustainable improvement. So that is precisely this kind of system does. So as I said earlier, that capability building, I cannot expect my operator or floor supervisor to understand the concept of operation excellence in anything less than 5, 6, 9 months. But by giving a tool in hand, now I have just bypassed the whole mechanism. Now I say, okay, you don't have to understand the principle of Kaizen. What you need to do is you understand by not doing it, what is the impact, and just act onto it. And you have all visibility there, so they exactly know that on the machine what's going wrong, why it is going wrong, how it can be rectified, and so on and so forth. So this is what we are saying, that IPF is a strategic framework for any manufacturing company going forward. In next 10 to 15 years, manufacturing floor cannot be imagined without having such kind of system, whether it's a Covacsis or anyone else. But this kind of system has to be inside the plant in order for them to survive and grow and leapfrog in the next generation of manufacturing. Thanks. Thank you. With that note, I will just end.
Tarun, and may I once again request you to give us company on stage for the next couple of minutes, and I'd also like to invite Mr. Raman to join us on stage, and thank Mr. Mishra for having joined us. Or in fact, I'll take this opportunity with you for a photo session. A token of appreciation for you on stage, please. Thank you for joining us once again.